Hello and welcome to our beautiful card camp. Class number 4. Can you believe it? Anyway, I am so excited in this class because we are going to use our new buffalo plaid. Look how pretty that is. I just love the baby's breath. I think it is so elegant. And it just is such a nice contrast with our pumpkins. So I love this Hello Fall card. Let's get started. So a couple of things. We are using template number, let's see, I have to put on my glasses so I can read it. Template number, and get the light just right too, L9068. So I think it's called Crooked Pumpkin. So we're going to be using this template. And I don't know if you have been using our splash paper line. This is our orange poppy splash, and I just love the texture, the dimension it gives to the paper. I think it makes perfect pumpkins. So when you're embossing, if you're new to embossing especially, or sometimes we forget, I had a customer, she had been embossing with us for quite a while, and she called and asked me why I had changed the paper, and I'm like, I hadn't changed the paper. She said, yes, it's broken, it's not working anymore. And she had forgotten to put the paper on top of the template. She was putting the template on top and trying to trace and make it work, and it wasn't working. So we just want to remember, we always put our paper on top of the template. And then if we put the right side down, we're going to be embossing. If we put the wrong side down, so the right side up, then we're debossing. And then a couple of our other BOOtiful cards, we have used debossing techniques. So I just want you to make sure you watch those because they are a lot of fun. And something else I want to remind you, some people think that when you have a big open area like this, so my daughter just paused the camera and laughing hysterically. I'm like, what? What did I say? She said her dog just walked by Lucy. She is the cutest little Bernedoodle. So, so cute, black and white. But you'll see her little tail just walked through the camera. So we're glad she's here helping us today too. So when you're embossing, and it's a big, large area like this versus more outline things like this template, some people are thinking they need to emboss and fill in the whole area. But all you need to do, remember your embossing tissues, is trace around this outside edge. And you emboss the whole thing, and you can be fast. You don't have to worry going out of the lines. So you can see, can you see this embossing? How it embossed that whole area without filling in the whole area. You just really only traced it. So I've gone ahead and built a few papers, or a few pieces already for us. So one thing I did when I was doing it this time, I've done 2 pieces and I've used the orange splash, but I did not trace around this inside line. It's not a problem if you do. I did it on this card, but it just gave a little more detail. And so this time I decided I would try it without that. And I think it's actually cute both ways. So either way is good. So I have done both of those pieces. And then I went ahead and scuffed them. And I like to scuff before I cut out. And then I did my stem already. So I've embossed and cut that out, scuffed it a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and mount it to our pumpkin. And I'm going to just do it. Let's see what I do. I'm going to do it between my 2 layers. And I will use a mounting tape when I add the second layer, but I'm just going to use double-sided tape to put the stem on. So I'm just getting a little tape there. I'm going to put it on the back. Let's see if I put it here. Yes, I want to put it on the back of my stem. If it will come off my finger, goodness. And then I position how I want my stem to be, and I put that there. And then when I put my second piece in, that will cover the tape. And this time I'm going to use the mounting tape because I want to add the extra dimension. So I'm just grabbing a couple of pieces of my mounting tape. And when I was making this card, I wanted there to be a variety because there's only one pumpkin on the template. But I wanted to make it feel like there were 2 pumpkins. And so I did a couple of different techniques to accomplish that, and I'm going to show you how that works in just a second here. So this one, I just used orange splash for both pieces. on this other pumpkin, I used the candy corn dots to create a little differentiation between the two. And then the other thing that you will notice is different is we flipped it. So one is facing one direction and the other is facing another direction. But it's still, they don't go nicely together. So you can see here what I did. And I wanted to add the little sentiment, hello fall. So let's work on that first, and then I'll show you how I handled two pumpkins that are the same, but we want them to look different. So I took the hello fall, and I've already cut it out. It's from our Card Expressions number 26. I cut it out, and then I mounted it onto my splash inchworm. I love the dimension of the splash line. But you can see I lined it up just close to the edge, both places. That makes trimming so much easier. So then I just simply followed along the edge of the hello fall and just cutting so close to the edge there. But it's very simple to cut out. Now, of course, you could use your paper trimmer too, but I'm just using scissors, and that worked really slick. And then you're going to be adding this to your card. So what I did is I took this pumpkin. Now I reversed them. This one has the color this time, and this one will go here. So let's go ahead and mount our first pumpkin. Let's see, my buffalo plaid. Here it is. Like, I know I had it. So I'm going to mount this first one, and it's not too far from the top, maybe half an inch. And I'll use the mounting tape again. I like mounting tape. I love the dimension it adds. So we'll just go ahead and do that quick. And just throw the green papers from the back anywhere. So I'm adding my pumpkin, and I'm not going to press it down too hard because if I want to rearrange a little bit. And then I want this one to be positioned just about so. So they feel a little different. Whoops. I'm going to go ahead and maybe add a little mounting tape to that, but not push it down hard, but just so we can play with our positioning a little. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that here. I love those two together. And it starts to feel like a different pumpkin when you use the candy corn dots. And I'm just going to come, and I want to add the hello fall. What I learned is I can position this down, and I can just, not upside down though, I can position this so it covers both like so, makes it feel different. Or if you need to trim a little piece off, you could do that too. So if you can see that, I just angled it a little bit, covered the whole pumpkin there, or you can trim some of that off if you wanted. Now, I love to use staples. I think they're just a cute little fun embellishment, if you will, to your card. But sometimes it's kind of tricky to get your staple to go just where you want. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I want to remind you, we don't have to make perfect cards. We're just making cards to let people know that we love them and are thinking of them. So what I like to do is I just hurry and get a little bit of double-sided tape. You could maybe use mounting tape if you wanted. And you could just staple this here on here. Or if you want it, like that's what I've done here, is just stapled this, not really stapled it onto the card. Or if you want to staple to the card, I find it helpful to tape it onto the card first. So you're not trying to hold it on and staple at the same time. So once it's taped on, now you just take your stapler. And if I'm going to put it on so it goes off the card, I think sometimes it's cute to make it on an angle. So you can see there, I just did that little bit of an angle there. I think that adds a fun little twist and just looks so cute. I love staples. And I just did the other side too. And if you want, you can even do a little X so you can kind of see different way. So I love card making. I think this is such a beautiful time of year. I hope you have a great day. Happy embossing.